Hi everyone, good morning. Hope you're well. So it was a bit technical glitch, so that's why uh, a bit late. I do apologize for that. So first of all, this is not the regular IELTS class. So however, this class will help you a lot. Um, so the title of this today's class is 7 myths of IELTS and career. That's the thing I'd like to share with you today. Can you please type in the chat box very quickly? The title of today's class is 7 myths of IELTS and career. I'd like to see quickly your comment, then I'm gonna move on. So 7 myths about IELTS and career. Just type in the chat box very quickly. I'd like to see how many of you really follow me and understand me. So by the way, I know there are a lot of students here. They don't know me, so I need to introduce myself. So my name is Hassan Habib, and I'm the CEO of SLF Education. And so today, I'd like to share the 7 myths of IELTS and career. So um, before that, I'd like to share my journey with you. So one day I was attending the class like you, I think 12 years ago. And yeah, so I believe in myself. I gave a really try. And I was lucky as well. And my family, they were supportive as well. And today I'm here today. So that's the very interesting thing is I was not born in a rich family. My father was a high school teacher and my mom was a primary school teacher. And however, I had a brave like to study abroad. And as I was thinking, I made it somehow, and I'm blessed today. So I know there are a lot of students here. They would like to change their life through education, like me, and that's why you are here today. So today's class is all about the feedback. What do you got from last 13, 14 classes? That's the number one. Number two is where we can improve. And number three is today I'd like to share with you 7 myths of IELTS um, and career. So let me see your comment if you really understood me. I request you to type 7 myths of IELTS and career. So I can see some students are joining right now. So Hafsa said assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. So thank you for commenting. So please type in the chat box the today's topic, that is 7 myths of IELTS and career. 7 myths of IELTS and career. So once you type that, then we're gonna move on what I mean by that. 7 myths of IELTS and career. You know, there are a lot of what is called misconception, misunderstanding. That's called myths. So that's the thing I'd like to share with you so that you can unblock that thought and you can believe in yourself and you can move forward and so that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. So 7 myths in IELTS and career. Okay, Rahan said, Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you doing? Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm really great. Thank you. Thank you for asking. So please type in the chat box 7 myths of IELTS and career. So before taking the feedback, I'd like to remind you why we have running this free online IELTS class, because you know, as you know, that we help international students to study in abroad, especially in UK, US, and Canada. And there are a lot of students, they would like to do the IELTS course with us because we have got the world-class teacher. But unfortunately, they have, you know, got admitted somewhere else and they are not satisfied. And when I have spoken with team and I said, okay, why don't you get a lot of students who are really interested in IELTS, because we are giving the best classes in the world. And my team, they said, the truth is, when someone made the decision that I would like to study abroad, and the first thing they're thinking about IELTS, and already they have got admitted in different institutions and they don't like to spend one more time for IELTS. And that's why we cannot take them as a student, and they are deprived of our services. So that's why we have told my team that, okay, why shouldn't we provide the free IELTS? Probably they are doing IELTS in different institutions. And once they start doing the class with us, for example, Bobby sir and Arifin sir, they got a lot of values. And You have already seen a lot of feedback from the students, even from you, that they are adding a lot of values in your life, right? So please type in the chat box. Today's topic is 7 myths of IELTS and career. Just I'd like to 7 myths of IELTS and career. That's the thing I would like to share with you. 7 myths of IELTS and career. Type in the chat box very quickly. Okay. So first of all, I'd like to ask you, a series of questions, and you need to answer me very quickly, prominently. Otherwise, I will not get your feedback, and if I don't get your feedback, I cannot improve our services. So, how many classes have you done so far with us? I'm talking about IELTS, not speaking English 12 days. Type in the chat box very quickly. How many classes have you done so far? Just put the number. Is it 12? Is it 13? Is it 10? Whatever the number is, please type in the chat box very quickly. How many classes have you attended so far? Type in the chat box very quickly. Type in the chat box very quickly, because when I have spoken with my teachers, IELTS trainers, I asked them, so how do you feel about our students? And they said, yeah, they're really good. They are very attentive. They listen to us, whatever we are saying. And I said, what about you? I mean, how they accept you? And they said, it's really tough to ask this question directly to our students, because we are the trainers. So it's better, I mean, if you ask on behalf of us. So that's why I'd like to ask you a few series of questions. So thank you for responding. Rabbi said 7 myths of IELTS and career. Right? 7 myths about, okay, thank you, Noyan. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, Noyan said 13. Ryan said 10, 11 classes. Rabbi said 13. Joshim said 4 classes. Okay, got it. Thank you. I can see only a few students, they're attending classes regularly. Look, from the very beginning, I'm telling you something. So this is my investment in you, right? I got to pay this teacher a lot of money. It's not the typical teacher, I mean, I'm hiring from third world countries like Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan, and I'm paying peanuts, right? So they are the very expensive teachers. I pay them. And if you don't get benefit out of it, if you don't attend the class, there is no point, I mean, wasting my money. Did you get me? I'm so direct to you. If you don't attend the class regularly, if you don't do the homework, so I'm just wasting my money, and I shouldn't do this. So this is a gentle reminder of you that you should take this advantage. All I want from you is at the end of the class that, thank you, hassle-free education. I got 7, I got 6, I got 5.5, I've got 8.5 in IELTS because of you. That's the thing, that's the feedback I'd like to get from you. So if you don't attend the class regularly, if you think this is the free class, I got to stop. To be honest with you, I'm not kidding with you. I'm serious. Right? So if you don't attend the class regularly, I got to stop this class. So the first thing is, what makes you or breaks you? Only one thing. The only one thing that makes you or breaks you, that's called discipline. Can you please type in the chat box discipline? Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box very quickly. It's discipline. Okay. Hafsa said, wow, really? I thought it's free. They are doing charity. Yeah, Hafsa, if you think it's not charity, this is the gift from us, from Hassle-Free Education. We are investing in yourself. We'd like to see that you have changed your life through education. You have done your IELTS, you have got admitted at, university in UK, US, and Canada. And if you are coming to the UK, we're gonna help you pick you up from airport. That's the service we are giving you, right? So this is one of the other services we're gonna give you as a gift. So please type in the chat box discipline. So only one thing that's gonna make you or breaks you. That's called discipline. If you have got this thing missing in your life, I would say you are done. Discipline is very, very important thing. So probably I would tell you that, okay, by the way, the reason I'm here today is, so we have got two teachers. One is Arifin, the other one is Bobby, right? So Arifin sir, he takes class on Friday and Saturday. So I'd like to just make sure you know the schedule of the class. So can you please type in the chat box? Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday. This class are conducted by Arifin sir. So Friday and Saturday, Arifin sir. Type in the chat box very quickly. Friday and Saturday, Arifin sir. And the remaining 5 days from Sunday to Thursday, these classes, 5 days classes, are conducted by Bobby sir. So Friday and Saturday by Arifin sir, and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, these classes are conducted by what is called Kazi Bobby sir. So 2 classes are conducted by Arifin sir. That's the speaking module. So Arifin sir will teach you how to get a better score in IELTS speaking, and also sometimes he's gonna help you here and there as well. And the second thing is reading, writing, and listening. These classes will be conducted by Kazi Bobby sir. And you know Kazi Bobby sir, right? So he got 8.5 in IELTS. He's a British Council trainer. He used to work in British Council as a trainer, right? And he has got 14 years of experience in IELTS teaching. He's one of the best teachers in the world. So if you miss him, if you don't take his class seriously, you're missing a lot. Definitely, I would recommend you, please do that, right? Okay, so now you got the schedule of our IELTS class. It's 7 days in a week. 2 days classes will be conducted by Arifin sir, and 5 days classes will be conducted by Kazi Bobby sir. So if it is clear, please type in the chat box clear. I'd like to see how many of you really understood what I just said. If you really understood me, please type in the chat box clear. Okay, so what I was saying is, so I'm gonna give a notice in the WhatsApp group that, sorry guys, today's class is not happening because Arifin sir, he's traveling from Middlesbrough to London. By the way, I have invited him as well, so I'm gonna see him on Saturday night, right? So he's coming. We're gonna meet. We're gonna spend some time together. So we're gonna give a thought about your IELTS. How can we improve a bit more? So I'll take your feedback in a minute. So please type in the chat box clear if you are clear. Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. So now, 7 myths of IELTS. 7 myths of at IELTS and career. So the first thing I'd like to share with you is, please type in the chat box. The number 1 myth we have got is IELTS is not for me. Type in the chat box very quickly. So that's the first myth a lot of students they have got. If you go to different Facebook groups, for example, related to IELTS, and if you ask that why are you here, they will say, I'd like to study abroad. I'd like to settle in the UK, US, or Canada. Okay. So what about IELTS? Have you taken preparation? I said, no, IELTS is not for me. Is there anything I can do without IELTS? That's the first thing they're saying. That means they're saying themselves, IELTS is not for me. Please type in the chat box the statement, myth, number 1 myth, IELTS is not for me. So if you have got some sort of blocks in your head, then I would tell you that you should come out from this block. And how we're gonna do that, I'll share you in a minute. So the first myth is IELTS is not for me. There are a lot of students, they are saying, they're believing in themselves, IELTS is not for me. So if you have got this statement in your mind today, you need to vanish it. You need to remove it from your brain. And how are you gonna do that? Today I'm gonna share with you. And before that, I'd like to tell you, I was not a bright student. In my SSC, I failed in test exam, right? This is not the, happy news, though I am smiling. And when I started thinking about that life, I thought, oh my God. So that's the first thing. And so once I failed in SSC, and I was really, really weak in English. And somehow I managed to pass in HSC as well. But when I have completed about to complete my honors in history, so one of my teachers, he did his PhD from USA, and he used to give us lecture in English. And on the I didn't understand his lecture. He was saying something embargo, and I think he was teaching us Second World War. Embargo means nishedagga, right? Something like this. So I couldn't relate his speech. So I just raised my hand and I asked, what do you mean by embargo? And he became furious, angry, and he kicked me out from the class. He said, you didn't follow the rule of my class. The rule of his class was, he's going to give you some time to ask you a question. But during his lecture, you can ask question. That's the main thing. But unfortunately, mistakenly, I raised my hand, asked him question. He kicked me out. And that day I made the decision that I got to learn English, right? So that's the thing. So the first myth is IELTS is not for me. Thank you. Thank you for responding. So if you are one of them like me, when I started thinking about studying abroad, I also said myself, IELTS is not for me. What happened is through my journey, I'd like to share what you need to do. First of all, you need to improve your basic. Please type in the chat box, basic English. So you need to learn basic English. What do I mean by basic is how to make a sentence. If you know exactly the structure of sentences, that means you know the basic. And to know that, you got to just learn 4 or 5 things. For example, in our English course, I mean, Speak English 12 days, we covered everything. So 4 or 5 things if you learn, that means you know the basic. Please type in the chat box basic English. So you need to learn tense, number 1. Number 2 is passive. Number 3 is comparison. Number 4 is transformation of sentence. Number 5 is preposition. So if you just know these 5 things, that means you can tell yourself that IELTS is for me. If you know just 5 things, only 5 things, tense, right? So second one is transformation of sentence. Third one is comparison. Fourth one is voice. Fifth one is preposition. If you know 5 things, then you can tell yourself that IELTS is for me, right? Type in the chat box 5 things. So you got to practice it time and again, and you got to build the confidence in you that, well, I need this. I got to learn this. Once you learn this, you need to tell yourself that I know how to use this sort of structure. That means I know English, right? That's the first thing you got to do. So if you'd like to unblock this myth, you got to learn these 5 things. And I know you have got so many friends, family members, or colleagues, classmates, they're stuck in IELTS. If they have got IELTS, they could change their life, right? So this is the opportunity to help. So all you need to do is you need to help them. And this Sadgaya Jariya. So if you help someone else, you will be blessed for that. So that's why I would recommend you always, once you have got the class, you need to share this class on your Facebook. Just I'm curious, how many of you share each and every class on your Facebook page? Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box very quickly. Type in the chat box shared. I'd like to see how many of you shared on your Facebook. So there are a few reasons I'm telling you to share on your Facebook. Number 1 is Facebook is a very smart thing, right? So if you watch funny videos, Facebook will suggest you funny videos. If you share a lot of or watch a lot of songs, Facebook or YouTube will suggest you more songs. If you watch or share a lot of things about English, Facebook will recommend you to watch a lot more about English, IELTS, vocabulary, grammar, and all sort of things. This is the AI, right? Artificial intelligence. So Facebook knows, YouTube knows what you do, what you love, and that's why they try to help you out to give more. So if you share on your Facebook these things, or if you watch the things time and again, so the Facebook and YouTube, they're gonna recommend you more stuff, good stuff, quality stuff. That okay, they'll find you are very interested in IELTS, you'd like to learn English, you'd like to change your life through education. So they're gonna give you more stuff. This. Do you understand? If you understand, please type in the chat box understood. I'd like to see how many of you really understood. Right? So that's why I would definitely recommend you So number one is you should share it, because Facebook and YouTube will suggest you more good things about IELTS and English. Second thing is, once you share on your Facebook, that means it's on your timeline. So you know, when you need it, just you can go to Facebook and you can watch the lecture. And the third thing is, once you share it, your Facebook friends, family member, classmates, they will be what is called benefited from this. So please type in the chat box, I will share I will share every class. Type in the chat box, I will share every class. I'd like to see how many of you would like to listen to me, understand me, and apply whatever I'm saying. Type in the chat box, I will share every class. Okay, third thing is, I would like to tell you, and I also share this in our Speak English in 12 Days challenge. I always say repetition is the mother of all skills. Repetition is the mother of all skills, right? Can you please type in the chat box, repetition is the mother of all skills? Repetition is the mother of all skills. Okay, thank you, Raihan. Raihan said, I'll share every class. Thank you. Joshim said, I'll share every class. Thank you for responding. Manzul said, understood. Thank you, Manzul Haq. So type in the chat box, yeah, I'd like to see. Naim Khan said, I'll share every class. Thank you for responding. Zahidul said, I'll share every with my friends. Thank you. Thank you for responding. Yeah, thank you. So it's sub guys area, right? So once you share it, people will be benefited and you will get so up, right? That's the important thing. Thank you for responding. So next thing is, can you please type in the chat box, is repetition is the mother of all skills. Thank you, Ryan. Repetition is the mother of all skills. So all you got to do is, so you have, let's say, attended one class with Kazi Bobi sir, and you should watch this class at least 2-3 times. For example, you are doing something, right? So just put your earphone on and just keep listening, keep listening, keep listening. So probably you are traveling from Mirpur to Puran Dhaka, I mean Old Dhaka, or you are traveling from Uttara to Motizil. So just put the earphone on, because you haven't got anything to do when you are sitting in the bus. So you can just listen to this, right? And the more you listen, the more you learn, and the more you have got possibilities to apply it. So that's the important thing. So how many of you do the repetition class? How many of you do watch replay? Please type in the chat box, replay. I'd like to see how many of you watch the class on replay. It's not once. So once you finish this class, then you're gonna watch this class 2-3 times. That's what I do. I have got so many expensive courses. Like I paid £12,000 for a course. What I do, I recorded this, and once I travel somewhere else, just I put my earphone on and I started listening. So that means I'm investing my time in a right way. So you got to watch it replay. So please type in the chat box, replay. Okay, that's the thing. And the second thing I'd like to share with you is the first myth. I told you that IELTS is not for me. So you got to learn 5 things. You got to apply it. Then you need to learn how to get a score in IELTS exam. IELTS is, IELTS course is not a course to learn English. IELTS preparation course is a course to get a better score in IELTS exam. Do you understand? Do you understand the difference? So let's say you speak English in 12 days. That's the course to learn English, to develop your basic English. But IELTS is not a course to learn English. IELTS preparation is a course to get a better score in IELTS exam. Did you get me the difference? So 2 things. One is learning English. The other one is getting a better score in IELTS exam. Now we can say that if I know English, I'll get a better score in IELTS exam. Well, I do believe so in a certain extent, not 100%, right? I have seen there are a lot of students, they have finished their English language. I mean, they did their bachelor in English, probably master's in English. Still, they get 6 or 6.5 in IELTS, even 5.5, even 5. Can you believe that? And you see Bobi sir, Kazi Bobi sir, and Arifin sir, they haven't done their bachelor in English. However, Arifin sir, his background is computer science. He got 8 in IELTS out of 9. Kazi Bobi sir, his background is business, right? He did his BBA and he got 8.5 out of 9. So IELTS preparation course is not a course to learn English. However, you're going to learn so many things anyway, but it's a course to get a better score in IELTS exam. Please type in the chat box, IELTS course is a course to get a better score in IELTS exam. You got to understand, right? So here is the thing, as I told you, so you need to learn 5 things. That's the basic English. Second thing is you got to apply it. You need to practice it. And third thing is you need to do this course, IELTS preparation course, to get a better score in IELTS exam. So you learn all the tips and techniques. And the third step is to apply it. How are you going to apply it? So step 1 is better. I mean, if you understand. Step 1, basic English. Step 2, IELTS preparation course. Step 3, apply them. Type in the chat box. 3 steps. Step 1, basic English. Step 2, IELTS preparation course. Step 3, apply them and score a better score in IELTS. These are the 3 steps. So once you understand these 3 steps, once you follow these 3 steps, you can tell your brain that IELTS is for me. I don't mind if you say I'd like to get 8, 9 in IELTS exam, that's fine. If you keep pushing yourself, you're gonna get it, right? So the second myth of IELTS is without scoring 7.5, I can't do anything in my life, right? So without scoring 7 or 7.5, I can't do anything in my life. This is the second myth always students have. If I don't score 7.5, that means I'm not good student, my score is not good enough, I can't do anything, I can't get a scholarship, right? So that's the second myth you have got in your mind. If I don't IELTS score 7.5, I can't do anything in my life. Please type in the chat box this is statement. And then we're going to shoot it and we're going to remove it from our brain. Then we're going to achieve it, right? So please type in the chat box. If I can't score 7.5 in IELTS, I can't do anything in my life. So this is the myth. This is not the real thing. And now I'd like to share with you a lot of things you need to understand. So I have seen so many students who has got 5.5 in IELTS. I repeat, I have seen so many students in my life who has got 5.5 in IELTS, and they got admitted at UK University. They finished their course, they improved their English, and they went to different route like work permit, business visa, and all that stuff, and they got settlement. Right. So having 5 or 5.5 in IELTS, you can change your life. So getting IELTS 7.5, it doesn't mean that after having this scores, you can achieve your ultimate goal. So IELTS is not your ultimate goal. IELTS is a vehicle to go from here to here. Do you understand? IELTS is not your ultimate goal. IELTS is a vehicle to go from here to here. So you can say IELTS is a vehicle to fly from Bangladesh to UK. Right? That's the important thing. IELTS is not your ultimate goal. IELTS is a vehicle, right? Ekta poribohon, ekta transport. IELTS is a transport to go from here to here. So a lot of the students, they think IELTS is our ultimate goal. If I don't get 7 in IELTS, oh my God, I've ruined my life, right? So this is the myth. And last thing I'd like to tell you from my life is, as I told you, that I was not a good student. I failed in SSC, somehow passed in HSC, went to university, studied in history. Then I started learning English, and all of a sudden, I got to sit for IELTS exam and I got only 6. 12 years ago, I got 6 in IELTS. Do you think that scoring 6 in IELTS, I didn't get 7, 7.5, 8, that it stopped me what I want to achieve? Right? IELTS is not everything. IELTS is a vehicle. IELTS is a transport that will take you from here to here. So if you get 5.5, 5, 6, that means you can still achieve your goal. So if you get someone else, I mean, your friends, family members, they started thinking that if I don't get 7.5 in IELTS, my life is over. Tell them that's the myth in your brain. You need to unblock this. So all you got to do is you need to understand that IELTS is a transportation, is a vehicle to travel from here to here. That's it. You don't need any IELTS. Now I don't need any IELTS, right? 12 years ago, I had a score in 6. That's enough. Now, still I make a lot of mistakes. I have got meeting with vice chancellor, provost chancellor, dean, a lot of business owners, a lot of teachers, and still I make mistakes. So what? This is not my mother tongue. However, I don't have to be perfect, right? If I can communicate with them, if I've got a standard level of communication, I'm done. When I go to the bank, punch my card, they don't ask me, hey, Habib, you don't have right accent. You don't have, 7 in IELTS. No. If I punch my card, I get money, whatever I have got in the bank account. It doesn't stop me anywhere else. So make sure IELTS is not everything. It's a vehicle, it's a transport to go from here to there. Right. So that's the thing. So if you really understood the whole thing, please type in the chat box, IELTS is a vehicle or IELTS is a transport, not everything. Type in the chat box. I'd like to see. So having 5, 6, 7 in IELTS, there are a lot of students, they finish their course, they got settlement in the UK, US, and Canada. And the next thing I'd like to, don't misunderstand me. So there is always benefit. I mean, if you get a better score in IELTS. So for example, the difference between 5.5 and 6. Here's the one thing you need to understand. The difference between 5.5 and 6 is 10 lakhs taka or 10,000 pounds. Type in the chat box. Difference between 5.5 and 6 is 10 lakhs. Now I'd like to tell you why. So if you get 5.5 in IELTS, you can get into the university directly for level 4, I mean first year. They're gonna put you in foundation course. So if that's the extra course, so that's gonna cost you 10 to 12,000 pounds and also 1 year. So if you get 6 instead of 5.5 in IELTS, then that means you can save 1 year from your life and also 10,000 pounds. Did you get me? So type in the chat box 1 year plus 10 lakhs. If you understand what I'm saying, very quickly, please type in the chat box. Very quickly, please type in the chat box. The difference between 5.5 and 6 in IELTS is 1 year plus 10 lakhs. Very quickly, type in the chat box. Okay, next thing I would like to share with you is there is another myth or misunderstanding, misconception is one day I will sit for IELTS exam. One day, myth number 3, one day I will sit for IELTS exam. Type in the chat box very quickly. One day I will sit for IELTS exam. So this is myth number 3. So there are a lot of students, they say, yeah, I'm taking preparation, I'm doing the course with Hassel Education, right? And they never sit for IELTS exam. They never ever sit for IELTS exam because they didn't commit yourself. So scheduling is a commitment. Please type in the chat box. Scheduling is a commitment. So if you don't schedule yourself, that means you don't make your commitment yet. So if you don't schedule yourself, that means you didn't make any commitment. And that's why you are saying one day I'll sit for IELTS exam. So go to the British Council or IDP website, see the date, pick a date and say, this is the date I'd like to sit for IELTS exam. So once you schedule the date, that means you have made your commitment. Did you get me? If you haven't scheduled the date yet, that means you haven't made your commitment yet. You can say, sir, I have just started IELTS class. I'm enjoying it. I'm practicing a lot. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. But all you got to do is you need to schedule yourself a date that this is the date I will sit for IELTS exam, right? And once you give you the deadline, timeline, that means now you got some sort of pressure in your brain. Well, I have got 4 modules, speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Okay, I need to practice at least every day, at least 1 listening. I need to write down at least 1 writing. I need to give a try, at least 1 passage. I need to practice at least 10, 15 minutes with my friends. Did you get me? So once you put the deadline that this is the date I'm going to sit for IELTS exam, that's going to give you some sort of pressure. Well, now I got to do this. At least I got to practice one listening every single day. Kazi Bobi sir, he showed me, he taught me how to solve the listening test. Now I knew. And now this is my responsibility to practice it, to give a try every single day. Did you get me? So how many of you would like to schedule a date? Please type in the chat box, I will schedule a date. I will schedule a date. Type in the chat box very quickly. I will schedule a date. So that's the myth number 3. One day I will sit for IELTS exam. So still, if you're thinking one day I'll sit for IELTS exam, I'm going to guarantee you, never ever you're going to sit for IELTS exam. You need to find out a date, pick up a date, schedule a date. Yeah. So sometime, let's say in 1 or 2 months before, just pay the money, right? Pay the fee, IELTS registration fee. You are all set, right? So number four. Can you please type in the chat box? Myth number 4, only rich people study abroad. Myth number 4 is only rich people study abroad. Type in the chat box very quickly. Excuse me. So only rich people study abroad. Type in the chat box. This is myth number 4. Myth number 4 is only rich people study abroad. So now I'm gonna explain to you in a minute. So this is the myth. Only rich people study abroad. Before going there, I'd like to ask you yourself. So how did you find the class with Bobby sir and Arifin sir? So I'm gonna give you the scale of 0 to 10. So 0 means I'm not satisfied at all. 5 means okay. 7 means is excellent. 10 is outstanding, right? So how did you find the class with Bobby sir and Arifin sir? Type in the chat box. Just put the number on the scale to 0 to 10. So if you are extremely satisfied, please type in the chat box 10. If you are not satisfied at all, please type in the chat box 0. So just put the number 0 to 10. How do you rate your teacher, Bobby sir and Arifin sir? Type in the chat box. Okay. I'd like to be very specific. So put the teacher's name and put the rate. For example, Arifin sir, this rate, Bobby sir, this rate. I'd like to see. So type in the chat box. I'd like to see both teachers' feedback. Very quickly, please type in the chat box. Arifin sir, 0 to 10, this. Bobby sir, 0 to 10, this. Type in the chat box very quickly. I'd like to see 2 feedback from you. It's going to help a lot. So myth number 4 is only rich people study abroad. This is the misconception. No, that's not right. Because you don't have enough information in your head. That's why you are thinking only rich people study abroad. This is the misconception. Only rich people study abroad. This is the misconception. So I'm telling you the truth. I have seen so many students. They are not from affluent family. They are not from rich family. They don't have that much money. However, they made a commitment that they're gonna study abroad and they're gonna get a qualification from abroad, or they would like to settle in the UK, US, or Canada. Right? I have seen so many people in my life. I'm going to give you a few examples. So I shouldn't mention the name because I think he might be offended, or if you know him. So one of our students, he is from Sylhet. He is from a lower middle class family. He didn't have that much money. So, but he has got a strong desire to study in the UK. What he did is he started finding a family who would like to sponsor him. And, you know, at the end, so he's going to get married of the girl of the family. So that happened. So everything was right. He set for YTC test. He got the result. He made application through us. The family from the girl, they made a sponsor. They gave him the money. Gave him the money. He deposited the money to the university. And all of a sudden, his father died. and unfortunately he did his pass course, not honors, 3 years BA pass course. And most of the UK university, they don't accept pass course as a graduation. They say this is kind of diploma, equivalent to diploma. I'm in level 5. You need to do top up. So once you do top up, that means then you will achieve bachelor degree. And if you don't make application for master's degree, I'm in level 7, you cannot take your spouse with you. Did you get me? So his background was 3 years pass course. That's why he couldn't make application for the master's degree. He made the application for top up. And what happened next is that's why we told him that you cannot get married, you cannot take your spouse until you finish your honors degree and until you make your master's course. And what happened is the family from girl, they gave him pressure. What happened? He came, by this time he came to the UK. I went to the airport to pick him up, and he was struggling to find accommodation. I set up accommodation for him, and he said, please find me accommodation for 1 or 2 weeks. Then I have got friends, they're gonna manage something for me. I said, okay, that's fine. So I picked him up from Heathrow Airport. I went to London, what is called East Ham, with his luggage and all that stuff. And I said, you got to pay him £150. He said, I have got only £100 in my pocket. I said, what do you mean? He said, this is my story. I have only £100 in my pocket, and I have got a few relatives, so many friends, and I will borrow some money from them. And this is how I wouldn't recommend you to do the same thing. But still, if you know this story, that means not only rich people, the lower middle class family people, they come to study in the UK. And the next example I'm going to give you about myself. So I was not from an affluent family. However, I made it happen, right? So you got to believe in yourself that not only rich people, also lower middle class family study abroad. Can you please type in the chat box? Also, lower middle class family people study abroad. Also, lower middle class family people study abroad. Type in the chat box. So you need to remove this block as well. If you have got that only rich people, I don't have that much money, I'm not financially strong, So this is the myth number 4. Only rich people study abroad. This is a myth. The truth is lower middle class family study abroad as well. Type in the chat box. What is the truth? Number 4. Number 5 is myth number 5 is settlement is really tough. Settlement is really tough. Myth number 5, settlement is really tough. Can you please type in the chat box? Myth number 5, settlement is really tough. Myth number 5, settlement is really tough. Type in the chat box very quickly. Very quickly, please type in the chat box. Settlement is really tough. So now I'm gonna give you the background. If you'd like to study abroad, especially first world countries, I would say UK, USA, Canada, Australia, these sort of countries. So, they just, I'm showing you the background, what is the government thought behind it. So they would like to keep the best people, skilled people, resource people in their country. I repeat, first world countries government, they would like to keep the skilled people, resource people, best people in their country. So that's why they set a barrier, a standard, that if this is your standard, you can stay here. If it's not a standard, you got to go home. And now I'm telling you why they're thinking like that way. So if you're just thinking about in United Kingdom, if you haven't got enough money, then government is responsible for you to pay you money. For example, if your income is like 10 or 12,000 pounds, but your expenditure is, let's say, 20,000 pounds, in that case, government will pay you £8,000. I repeat one more time. You need to understand. So if your income is not standard, and if you settle in the UK, for example, if you have got British passport, that means British government is responsible for you. So let's say you have got income, what is called £12,000, but your expenditure is £20,000. In that case, council, government will give you £8,000 to lead your life. So now, if the government doesn't put the barrier standard, that means if you always earn substandard, that means government will be responsible for you. So that's why they put a standard, and that's why they would like to keep the best people, skilled people, resource people. What I mean by that is, so for example, if the government is giving a sponsor for IT, so probably you will be earning, let's say, 40 to 50,000 pounds in a year. So that means you are paying a lot of tax to the government. You are not, claiming benefit from the government. Government doesn't have to pay you. And on the top of that, if you are self-employed, that means you have got your own company, you employ people, you give them job, and government is happy. So government is looking for those kind of people. And now if you ask me, so why government give you the settlement? And my answer is just only one thing. I'm that kind of person, right? So we have got 27 employees. That means I have generated 27 employment, and I'm paying tax to the government. So this year I'm paying like 34,000 corporation tax because we made so much profit. So government is happy because I'm not claiming benefit from government. Do you understand? So that's why government wouldn't like to be responsible for you. That's why they always put the standard. If you jump over the standard, if you jump over the barrier, that means you are qualified, you are asset, you are skilled people, you can earn so much money. That's why government will keep you. This is the psychology behind it. Now, so there are a lot of students coming to this country like me. I came to this country in 2010 in October, and there are so many students, they have been gone back home. They have gone back home because they couldn't jump over the barrier. So government was thinking, okay, if these people are staying in this country, so we're gonna get lower income family, and that's why once they get settlement, we got to pay them, and that's why they would like to kick them out. On the top of that, they are thinking, if I can get some people like high earning income people, so that means they're gonna stay in this country, they're gonna contribute, they're gonna work for us, and they're gonna pay a lot of tax, they're gonna create a lot of employment, and these kind of people I'd like to keep in. So now all you got to do is, if you come to this country as a student, whatever the route you are coming, so you need to think about that way. So if I can do the contribution to this country, if I earn a lot of money, if I pay the taxes, that means government will keep me here. It's very basic thing, right? So the people who are struggling, who are thinking about settlement is really tough, this is the wrong idea. This is the misconception. The truth is, settlement is not tough for skilled people. Type in the chat box. Settlement is not tough for skilled people. Settlement is tough for non-skilled people. And now the question is, how I'm gonna become skilled people? So once you study at university, you are learning so many things, you get a work experience, and you become skilled. And all you got to do is you need to do the contribution to the country, and the government will keep you here. So please type in the chat box. The truth is, settlement is easy for skilled people. Settlement is easy for skilled people. Very quickly, please type in the chat box. Number 5, right? Number 6 is, if I settle abroad, I can do much for my country, for my family. Myth number 6. Myth number 6. If I settle in UK, US, and Canada, I can do that much for my country, for my family, for myself, right? So this is the myth number 6. Please type in the chat box. If I settle in abroad, I can do that much for my country, for my family. This is the myth number 6. Please type in the chat box very quickly. You need to understand. you need to thank you for responding. So settlement is easy for skilled people. That's right. Settlement is not tough for skilled people. That's right. Thank you for responding. So you got to become a skilled person, an asset for the country, right? So the myth number 6 is, if I settled in UK, US, or Canada, I can't do that much for my country. This is myth number 6. So I love my country as well, Bangladesh, right? So I know you love your country as well. It doesn't mean that if you go and get outside of the country, if you get settled there, that means you can't do that much for a country. This is the myth, right? So instead of, all you need to understand is, if you go outside of your country, I mean, the first world country like UK, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, that means you can do more for your country. Now I'm going to give you a lot of examples. So, in Bangladesh government, they declared that the huge amount of revenue is coming from abroad. That's one of the main sources to build a financial foundation, right? So myth number 6 is, if I settle abroad, I can do anything for my family and country. That's right, Ram. Thank you for responding. I'd like to see everyone's comment. Please type in the chat box. Myth number 6 is, if I settle abroad, I can't do anything for my family and country. That's the misunderstanding. So according to the Bangladesh government, I mean, huge amount of revenue is coming from expatriate. Expatriate means who live in abroad, who live outside of the country. So it's not only the UK, US, and Canada, it's from Middle East country. So there are a lot of people going there, working, and all the savings they send to the country. I don't like to make the announcement here because it's recorded, how much money I sent to Bangladesh to build a nice house, right? So I'll be in trouble then. So that's why I'd like to tell you that if I wouldn't come to this country, I couldn't help that much to my family. Now I've built a nice house, supporting my family, I'm supporting my relatives, I'm supporting my neighbors, I'm giving a lot of zakat. And you can't imagine, right? So if I used to, I don't know what could happen if I would live in Bangladesh, right? Probably I couldn't help that much. I couldn't generate that much revenue, benefit, profit for me, for my family, right? So if you can settle in UK, US, and Canada, I mean first world countries, you can contribute more to your family, country, family, friends, relatives. Do you understand? So if you have got some sort of misconception that if I settle in the UK, probably I can't do that much. So you need to understand. So if you also understand that if I settle in the UK, if I earn in pound, dollar, that means I'm earning more and I can save more. And this, the beauty of living in this country is, if you are living in Bangladesh and let's say your salary is 1 lakh, you can't do that much. You can't help your families, relatives. Probably you are living in Dhaka in a small flat. But the same way, if you live in UK and probably you have got the normal income, but it's still, I mean, if you send like 50 pounds to your family, 100 pounds to your family, it's a lot of money for your family, right? And you can help others. So this is the beauty of having higher in currency rate in first world countries. So you can do more once you get settled in the UK, US, and Canada. So myth number 7 is security kills ambition. Career. Security kills ambition and career. Please type in the chat box very quickly. Security kills ambition and career. Right. So as a human being, it's funny to say, is we are always looking for security, social security, financial security, whatever, right? Religious security, whatever it is. So security kills ambition and career. Please type in the chat box myth number 7. I'd like to share with you myth number 7. Security kills ambition and career. Security kills ambition and career. Please type in the chat box, myth number 7. And before going to myth number 7, I'd like to ask you, so what do you think, where should we improve our service, our IELTS class? Where? Do you have any specific recommendation? Let me speak in Bengali. কোন জায়গায় মনে করেন যে আমাদের সার্ভিস, আমাদের IELTS ক্লাস আরো ইমপ্রুভ করা দরকার? আপনাদেরকে আরো কিভাবে আমরা হেল্প করতে পারি? Please type in the chat box. It doesn't have to be in English. It can be in Bengali as well. বাংলায় টাইপ করতে পারেন যে কোন জায়গায় আমরা আপনাকে আরো বেশি হেল্প করতে পারি regarding IELTS class, our service, our consultancy. Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box. What's your recommendation? I'd like to read your comments. This is very important to us, right? And playful, right? Don't be silent. So I need your feedback. Where can we improve a lot in our services? In IELTS class, is consultancy. Because if I don't listen to you, that means I'm not listening to my audience. I'm not listening to my customers. I'm not listening to my clients. And your feedback is a lot to us. Your feedback is a lot to us. So thank you for responding. The last myth is number 7, is security kills ambition and career. So now what I mean by that is we always go for secured thing. For example, why would like to go for government job in Bangladesh? Because we want some sort of security. And you fight for the job, you got the job, you are so excited, you started working for the government, and after a certain period of time you find that you have got family and this is not good enough, so you start taking bribe, right? ঘুষ খাওয়া শুরু করেন. So I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the general people. So you see the security. So you wanted to have a life secured, that's why you fight for government job, right? And at the end of having the government job, if you started thinking, well, this is not the financial security, the job I'm doing here. That's why I got to take some sort of bribe to run my family. So you start taking bribe. So that's first of all, I'm trying to make you understand about the security. Second thing is you are talking about, okay, I'd like to go abroad, I'd like to get settled in the UK, but it's a lot of money and I'm investing this amount of tuition fees. Once I go there, I'm not sure whether I get settled or not. So it's insecure. And once you're feeling insecurity, then you stop yourself to go for it, to fight for it, to achieve it. And you are suffering some sort of depression, anxiety, you stop working yourself, and this is how you end up the life you don't want. Did you get me? So security kills ambition and career. So all you got to do is you got to jump out of your comfort zone. You got to jump out of your comfort zone. Please type in the chat box, I will jump out of my comfort zone. So wherever you are right now, so you're feeling so much comfort. Yeah, I'm good here, but I'd like to do, but I don't like to do that. I'd like to study abroad, but I don't like to invest in myself. I don't like to make my passport. I don't like to sit for IELTS exam, right? So insecurity kills everything. So all you got to do is you got to be insecure yourself. You got to jump from your comfort zone. You got to feel, you got to see how the not comfort zone look like. So all you got to do is you got to jump out of your comfort zone. So now I'm going to tell you my story, my examples. I came from such a humble family. I'm so humble that I've got so much support from my family, from my dad, mom, brother, sisters, and my wife, right? I'm so grateful to them. However, I didn't have that much money. So the moment I was thinking of studying abroad, I said, okay, I'm going to do it, right? And then insecurity comes to me and said, the first step is to make a passport. And that time it was like 5,000 or 10,000, I can't remember. And, on my back of my head, there was a small talk like, Habib, this 5,000 or 10,000 to making your passport, it's gonna be waste of your money if you can't go abroad. Insecurity start talking, right? And I'm blessed, I'm glad that I made my passport, right? That's the first step. Second step, when I sat for IELTS exam, so I did registration as well, and that was back in then is 17,500 something IELTS fee, registration fee, and that was my hard-earned money, and I was counting the money, giving to the registration table. And again, back of my head, there was a small talk. Habib, if you can't get six in IELTS, if you can't fly to the UK, that means you have wasted 17,500 money. So insecurity start talking. So type in the chat box. Do you face the same thing as I felt, 12 years ago? Insecurity talks to you. Type in the chat box. If insecurity talks to you, type in the chat box. Insecurity always talks to me. And what's going to happen is, once insecurity started talking to you, you got to jump out of your comfort zone. You say, I know you are talking about, right, the negative stuff. However, I'm going to do it. So once you start, talking to the insecurity, you should stop and you should say, this is the way I need to go. However, I should do it. And now, probably you might be asking me, so, I have made my passport, I have did my registration, I have got 6 in IELTS, but what if, if I can get the visa? And now my question is, well, there is possibilities to get the visa, but if you don't try, how are you gonna get it? That's my question. If you don't try, how are you gonna get it? This is not the thing. You're gonna dream, and one day you'll see someone will push you into the plane, and you are in the UK, got settlement, and once you wake up, everything is finished, right? So you got to work. You got to believe in yourself. You got to challenge yourself. Always you need to see what's the next step, what's the next move, and this is how you need to go for it, right? So I'd like to see how many. Yeah, type in the chat box. How many of you have got some sort of situation like me? Insecurity always talks to me. Okay, so yeah, that's the best thing you got to do. So now the question is, how we're gonna read up this sort of situation is, you need to push yourself from comfort zone. You got to jump into uncomfort zone. Once you do that, there is a proverb. If I push you into the sea, you will figure it out, how to swim, right? There is a proverb, and I love this proverb so much. So all you got to do is, you need to push yourself into the sea, and you will find a way to swim to the edge of the sea, to the beach, right? So that's the question. How many of you would like to push yourself into the sea, and you're gonna challenge yourself, and you'll find a way to swim over and to come to the sea beach? That's the main question to you, right? So that's the 7 myths I have shared with you. So if you really understood, you're gonna get a lot of valuable information, and if you apply it, it's gonna change your life. That's the thing I have shared, is the gist of 12 years of my experience. This is the summary this is the flashback of my 12 years experience. I know some of you are senior to me here. I respect you, but there is no certain time to change your life. KFC guy, he made his career when he got retirement. So you never know when the light bulb moment is for you. When I came to this country, I finished my master's, and I thought I was too old to study master's in Birmingham City University. But I'm glad I did it. And some of people, they came here after passing their SSC. And you will see there are a lot of people, they'll come here as different courses, probably at the age of 45, 50, right? So there is no specific age for you. You have got your own time. You need to understand. You need to, it's something like you got to mess with bat and ball, and we don't know when is the exact time, but you need to get ready for this. And inshallah, once you try so hard, you will see the way to make it out. So now finally, I'd like to ask you the question. So how was today's session? This is not your IELTS class. How was today's session? Please type in the chat box. Is it okay? Is it excellent? Is it outstanding? How did you find it? Is it helpful? Type in the chat box. I'd like to see your comment. Okay, now I'd like to read some comments. Type in the chat box. How is today's session? Is it helpful? Is it outstanding? Is it excellent? So I'd like to see your rating. A lot of students, they say 10 out of 10. Okay. Okay, got it. I haven't seen a lot of rating from you. I think you should do it. You know, the interesting thing is they don't mind. They don't mind, because once you come to the UK study, at the end of the class, there will be a feedback sheet. And there will be a few questions. So how is your class? How is performance? Did you understand all? What's the recommendation for others? How do you scale 0 to 10? And as a student, you know, I gave the feedback as well. The best teacher, I gave best feedback. The worst teacher, I gave worst feedback. So yeah, definitely your feedback is a lot to us. And also, if you've got some sort of problems or some sort of feedback, you can give us a call to a local office in Dhaka, Sylhet, what is called India, Pakistan, or London, Birmingham, and Manchester. Right. So so thank you for joining today's class. So make sure it's discipline makes you or breaks you. Is the only one thing, discipline, that makes you or breaks you. So make sure you come to the class on time. This is one of the discipline you got to follow. And once you do that, I'm certain that you're gonna get your achievement, whatever you want to achieve. Right. So thank you for responding. So I said I got a lot of inspiration. Thank you. Tabassum said it was very helpful as well. Thank you. Thank you for responding. Muhammad Sadrul Salam said top notch class. Oh my God. It's a good English. Okay. Fatima said amazing. Okay. Thank you for responding. Ryan said outstanding. Thank you. Ripon Mia said marvelous. Today's motivation. Thank you. Afia said amazing. Thank you. Thank you for responding. So make sure you come to the class on time tomorrow at the same time, 9 a.m. UK time and 2 p.m. Bangladeshi time. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully talk to you soon.